Mm. Pantheon's fun, but I hate how much he falls off. I don't play him for that reason. It's really fun.
You got some league talk in the stream, bro. What's up, y'all?
Really.
It's me, Alci Rambles, host of or Al, fuck. It's me, Alci, host of Alci Rambles. Today I'm joined by my friend Iwi. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Nice to meet you. Uh, I've been Isaiah's friend for a really long time. As you heard, my name is Huey. Pretty strange name. It's very ethnic. Um, I live in Canada though, so we don't. Me and Isaiah haven't really seen each other, but we've been friends for a minute.
Quite a long time indeed. Real quick though, I want to talk about "Pray for Paris." My friend Xavier recommended this album to me a month or two ago. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It's old school hardcore hip hop. It pays really good homage to the classics, and at time it reminds you of like RZA or Old Dirty Bastard from the Wu-Tang Clan. Really good. Uh, let's talk about the Scots though. What do you think about the Scots?
Um, I really liked it. I liked the beat. I liked everything about it. Kid Cudi and Travis Scott surprisingly make a good combo, and they have been for a really long time. So
Oh my
nothing
god,
but good stuff to say about that.
dude, they have. I don't know. I've always like loved Kid Cudi's features. Kid Cudi's features have always been good. If he's featured on a song, I think the song is just already elevated to god tier because his humming is just heavenly. Uh,
That's all he does. That's
that's,
all he does.
that's all he
Humming.
does.
So.
That's all he needs to do. We got we got so Cuddy and Travis have collabed several times through the late night, way back on Birds in the Trap. He's also, I think Travis was on Baptized in Fire, which is on Kid Cudi's album, and he was also on Stop Trying to Be God. A little in the background, but still awesome. You can recognize his humming just like that. Cause come on, come on, it's
It's
Kid Cudi.
very iconic.
It's Kid Cudi. Okay, we got to
So,
get into the meat of the podcast. What we're gonna be talking about. J. Cole and his discography. I'm a big fan of J. Cole.
I am a big fan of J. Cole. I really like him.
Right.
What's it called? Anthony Fantano hates him though,
And
like for no reason.
can we not talk about that? I'm gonna get really bad if we talk about Anthony. Like all respect
I
to
don't
him.
know,
All
he has a
respect.
lot of hot takes now.
All respect to Anthony, but like as he said, he's got a lot of hot takes. Born Sinner.
Um, I didn't really listen to. It was like so. How I listened to J. Cole is I didn't really get into him for a while. Actually, like when he was making Born Sinner, like Four Soul Drive, I kind of like started listening a little bit after.
Yeah.
So I never actually listened to like Born Center in its entirety, but the songs that I do listen to, it's like to name a few. My favorite song is on it. What's it called again? It's oh fuck, I forgot the name. It's do you know the song where it's like I think the background was a it was a police shooting actually. It's really sad.
Is it Forbidden Fruit?
Mm,
No.
uh, it's not Love
Crooked
Yours.
Smile.
Crooked Smile. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs, like ever. I just love everything about that song. Um, a few other ones of note. I think She Knows was also on Born Center, right?
That's a great one. Yeah.
She Knows is an amazing song. We don't really do music videos on this, but
Oh.
both of those music videos are really well done.
Yeah. I haven't watched the music videos. I'm gonna be honest right
Hmm.
now. I don't really watch a lot of music videos. A lot of the time when I do, um, it's because I have nothing else to do, right? But a lot of the
Hmm.
times I'll listen to an album from back to front and then I'll be done with it. But
Hmm.
Born Sinner is one of my favorite Cole albums. The storytelling is amazing. You could see like how he took inspiration from Nas directly, especially because he's got a song named uh, "I Let Nas Down" or something like that, which is
Hmm.
amazing because he was really I don't remember how you explained it. It was an interview where Nas had called No ID, which was one of the producers, and he was like, "Yeah, Nas said this was garbage," and he was talking about work out, which was on Sideline
Mhm.
Story.
Oh,
And he was like, "Oh, dude, J Cole, you didn't have to be so pop friendly and shit, right? You're the one. You're a lyrical god. You don't have to really do this." And J Cole got pressed as shit. But aside from that, Villuminati is amazing. The use of samples is awesome with the Biggie Small samples. Uh, you also have Power Trip, which is
Power
a
Trip is a great song.
is a solidified classic. That shit is amazing. Played on the radios for way too long, but it's a great song nonetheless. We got so after Born Sinner, we have Forest Hills Drive. That's the one that everybody knows
Force
of
Those
J Cole.
Drivers.
Everyone knows that
Amazing album.
that
It's
album.
it is a hood classic. You can't deny it, bro.
Classic.
It's
Yeah.
a classic, bro.
Oh my god. Okay, Forest Hills Drive is what really got me into J Cole back then.
Hmm.
Like Workout and all was like the first J Cole song I probably heard because it was like a monster on the radio for ages and it wouldn't leave. But Forest Hills Drive is what really got me in there with Wet Dreams and Get Off My Dick. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
There's a lot of iconic things from that album. I
Yeah.
think No Role Models, super iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Love Yours, also iconic. Fire Squad is amazing. I really love the
Fire
beat on
Squad.
Fire Squad.
Why you gotta LS as a
Like
whole? That song is so
I
good.
like songs like that is what makes me think like J. Cole deserves a lot more credit than he's been given. I don't know. People just
Yeah.
like to hate on him.
Yeah.
Like I know he doesn't have like the best flow, and his lyrics aren't always like they're not always super insightful, but he can like the songs that he makes that are really good are very good, and they tend to be well liked. They tend to be like some sort of classics, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Even Tale of Two Cities. Tale of Two
Mhm.
Cities has amazing storytelling. Like I love that song so much. That's what like really got me into it. Like I've listened to GOMD and that shit was tight. Got me into it. But Tale of Two Cities is what really clicked in my mind and I was like, this guy can tell a story. This guy can make you it's a certified hood classic as you said. Okay. But we have our opinions on that. I think the next one is For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only. That's a really I like to call it For Your Eyes Only like the saddest
Yeah.
album that there is. Everything that one I think is his best storytelling album,
You think so?
and it's I think so because do you know the story behind like the I guess the title song of that album For Your Eyes Only?
No, I don't.
Well, basically, like it's a full true story about J Cole's friend, and I think like just the life he was living. He was predicting that he was going to die pretty soon, so he wanted to leave the album and the that song specifically for his daughter and have J Cole
Oh.
perform it. It's really ridiculously sad. I think one of the first times that I listened to it, I like I was in class and I felt like I had to stop myself from like tearing up. I felt so like weird, bro. It was fun.
Yeah,
But it's a sad ass song, bro.
it's a sad album. Period.
Yeah,
It's really good, and I agree in the sense that the storytelling is up there. But J Cole has already proved that he can
amazing.
tell a story really well through his lyrics. But like this,
Yep.
I guess takes it to another level. He takes a more depressing side to it, a more realistic rather. Because you see 2014 hit Forest Hills, he's talking about the life of becoming famous and
Hmm.
how it is at the top and shit. And Born Sinner was him basically taking on this gangster persona and saying, "Oh yeah, look at me, guys. I'm from the streets just like the rest of these rappers. You should respect me as much as you respect them." And it was him trying to earn his name basically. But then you take For Your Eyes Only and that's a step back and
Hmm.
he sees what he's done all this time and he's like, listen, I gotta take a more realistic stance on life in general. Maybe I don't want to live the life that I say I do, and even then, if I did, there would be horrible ramifications. And it set the scene, it set the road for J. Cole becoming the more mature rapper that people know of today. and really paved the way for albums like KOD, singles like Middle Child and False Prophets, and
Hmm.
even his more lyrical times on features with JID. Like off these, like
Yep,
off the
that's an
his
amazing song.
yeah, that song is great. But on off these, he takes a step back. He's like, okay, I'm gonna flex a little bit, but at the same time, I'm preaching, saying, hey, you kids got to be responsible.
Hmm.
And it's something that Eminem fails to do. Eminem
Eminem
likes,
is just kind of washed up in general,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Eminem fails horribly at like sitting back and saying, listen, this, because he says, okay, your music sucks. Stop mumbling. What?
Um, he says that while producing like nothing of substance, while like he doesn't really have. He says that like mumble rap is really bad, and he says like it's it's just kind of ruining the game. But he hasn't really released anything that's relevant in years. It's been a really
It's
long time.
oh my god.
I don't know, Kamikaze, just like his last two albums, like I don't know, he's trying to switch up the flow sometimes, and even I found he copied some flows of like rappers that he probably would have criticized a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and it was kind of just really disappointing. I don't know.
He
I don't really like Eminem that much, but he's getting like a lot worse.
Eminem is such a disappointment. It's like top 10 fall offs of all time
Yeah,
because
it's one of the biggest.
he was on the top for so long, and his lyrics were really solid. Even if you like, I know there are times you say his lyrics aren't that like complex, right? It's like
Mhm.
what was the freestyle? um,
Oh yeah, that's an awfully
the
hot
hot
coffee
coffee
pot.
pot. Should I drop it
Should
on
I
Donald
probably?
Trump's head? Probably not. This is so bad.
Yeah.
Like Eminem's one of the syllable rappers. He tries to pack as many
Mm.
syllables as he can in a line, so that's why the rhymes may come off as a little basic. But it
Sometimes
works.
it doesn't make sense. I remember one time he was explaining, like, oh, people say you can't rhyme like all these things. You can rhyme a lot of things with a lot of things. You rhyme like orange with orange, and I was like, no, no, you can't. You're cheating. You're not
You're
actually doing it. You're
cheating.
not actually doing it.
Yeah, yeah. All that dictionary reading really doesn't pay off, huh? Because because now you have him nowadays. He's like, I'm old and I don't like little kids. Stop rapping the way you do and stop dancing the hype music. It's bad.
Yeah, but yeah, like, people have to explain. Like, if you're gonna make a claim like that, you have to actually explain why it's bad.
And I think the most atrocious example of this was not even when he was trying to shoot at mumble rappers. The song Stepdad on his most recent album is a fucking atrocity. Like,
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have not listened to that album. I
don't
listened to
listen to it.
Godzilla,
Don't
and that's
listen
it.
to it.
I listened to Godzilla. That was
Don't
it.
listen to it. Don't listen to it. It's not worth
I
it.
wasn't. I didn't plan on
Bro,
it.
he go. I kid you not. The chorus goes, I hate my stepdad," and then it's just the whole song. It's so dumb. Oh my god.
It's just not worth it. I don't know.
But
Tough
yeah,
for me
as
to take
a
it seriously.
like, because I got so off topic, I was trying to say was that J. Cole is able to tell the new generation, listen,
Mhm.
you guys got to stop being irresponsible. I was like you at one point. I wore gold chains and spent my money on useless shit. Jay Z even does it. Jay Z,
I was about to bring up Jay Z. He's also like the biggest person in the community. He's always just saying, "Yeah, how about instead of spending on all that money on like fast cars, like you could spend it on something that you could give to your kids. Like you can reinvest in the community and stuff." Always love to hear that type of stuff. So it's nice that J Cole is kind of moving into that as he gets older.
yeah, and I really appreciate it because he does it in such a way where he doesn't come off as condescending. And even when Lil Pump and a bunch of other mumble rappers shot at J. Cole, he came back at them, but he didn't say like anything inflammatory. He just said, I'm not trying to fight y'all. I'm just saying what you guys should do. And I was like, what a king. Which brings me to KOD, which is where he ended up shooting back. KOD is like, I think Coyote is one of my favorite albums of all time, which is weird because I remember at the time it came out, it wasn't as popular as as I'm saying it to be.
Hmm.
Uh, First off, Kevin's Heart was beautiful, and it was actually one of the music videos that I watched.
Mm.
And I can't
It's a
believe
great
that.
music.
Yeah, I can't even believe that Kevin Hart went up and participated in the music video after the fact came out that he cheated on his wife. And I was like, that's brave. First off,
Well, I mean, it's been. I think when the song, like when the album was released, it's been known for. It would have been known for a few years. Um, but like, I remember Kevin Hart doing like stand up about talking about like him cheating on his wife way
yeah,
before that album was released. So it wasn't like a secret, but it's still an embarrassing thing. I think that kind of also shows how much he's grown as a person that he can say, "Yeah,
yeah,
I did this. It wasn't right, but I'm better. I'm no, I'm not gonna do it anymore." It's a great like song. I feel like let me say this. Let me preface this by saying I've never cheated on anybody, so don't even come at me like that. But it does kind of go through the thought process of someone who's like guilty. I think it tells it really really well. Someone who feels that they're guilty, like they know they did something wrong, and
yeah.
they can't say anything to the person, of course, because they don't want to lose them. They don't want to hurt their feelings, but the guilt's just kind of eating them up inside.
I'm looking at the comments right now.
Mm.
So my friend Matt goes, "Bruh, stepdad is good." You're wrong. You're wrong.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I haven't heard it. It's all good. I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to it. It's all good.
He hasn't heard it. He knows it's terrible. Listen, and then my friend Aiden even says Kamikaze was literally a mess, just like the name,
Yeah.
which makes sense. It's quite ironic. He named it Kamikaze because Eminem killed his entire career by making it.
He just trying to blitz everybody else, but he just blitz himself.
Yeah, but back to KOD, right? KOD.
Mm.
So the rap industry is already saturated by drug talk and gun talk and all that shit. But J. Cole took a different step with this. He looked at it from because his brother was a drug addict.
Mm.
I think he talked about it on Brackets, and he was like saying, okay, yeah, at the start of the album, at the first like half, or from intro to ATM, he's like, so this is the great stuff that comes with being high, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it feels while you're being high. How so he's talking about money, he's talking about drugs, he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about bitches, and then the last half is like him slowly realizing, holy shit, this is a terrible lifestyle to have. Sure, it's good in the moment, but after it all sets in, after reality kicks in, you're like, what have I done? I'm a terrible person. And I think it was great. Oh my god. And uh was it Brackets? I really want to know. Regardless, that entire album was good. And on top of that, the intro song, is my definition of a perfect intro.
Mm.
Because with an intro song, I don't like hearing an actual full blown song, even
Yeah.
though a lot of the times it can be good. I want to be introduced to the album as it's supposed to do. So J. Cole takes a really Illmatic Nas type approach where he's like, it's a song in the distance that slowly comes in, and it's just a bunch of people talking, and it really sets the scene for how the album's gonna play out, and I really appreciate that. That's really good. Are you
Um,
excited? What? My bad.
I would say for intros, I would actually bring up like Childish Gambino. A lot of his intros are always really, really well done. That's something he pays attention to a lot.
Y'all hear that?
It's pretty nice to have a podcast when you're still with your parents, eh?
It's not
Uh,
fun. It's not fun.
no, doesn't look fun at all.
I tell them, please, I'm begging you, do not scream. And then they scream. In my last podcast, in the first 7 seconds, I kid you not, I timed it. The first 7 seconds, my mom screams for me to come downstairs, and it blew my mind because I told her specifically not to call me. But it's
Please, I have a podcast. This is all I ask.
please. But okay. Regardless, we also have the fact that J. Cole's setting up for the fall off, which is I'm really excited for. I have no idea where J. Cole is going with it at all. Like, I listened to Middle Child. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Very good. Played on the radios for a while. Pretty good. And then he had Dreamville. Revenge
Revenge
of
of
the
the Dreamers
Dreamers 3.
is the best collab in the decade,
It
I
was
think.
banger after banger. Under the Sun, Down Bad,
Uh,
Wells Fargo,
there's
Sunset.
you can sit here naming songs for a really long time, but there's it's like I heard I heard some people like talking about it, and I like looked at them the way they were dressed. I was like, you have no business talking about J Cole, but even they knew it. Like they were talking about it. It was a big album. It was
You
it
have
was
no
lit.
business.
You have no,
You have
yeah,
no
no business
business.
talking about J Cole. I was about to ask them like name three more J Cole songs before we get to that.
Wow, gatekeeper, bro. What the
I
fuck?
am a big gatekeeper, bro. So you can
Like,
tell
stop.
what people.
You
Yeah,
are
don't.
white.
I never said a skin color. Never said a skin color. I said that was. I don't know why you made that connection.
Maybe okay. Maybe I'm in the wrong here. I'm just
No.
saying what I pictured in my head. Okay, but yeah, Revenge of the Dreamers was such a solid collab album, and I didn't think that everyone in Dreamville could work so well together.
They've been
Like,
working together. For years.
like,
I just want to say Earth Gang. Earth Gang is better than Migos as a rap group.
really? You think so?
Maybe Migos as individual rappers are better, but as a rap group, Earth Gang produces some really big bangers, and they've made shit uh, better than like Migos at the moment. Let me say Migos at the moment, not
Okay,
old Migos.
okay,
Like
okay. That's
Migos.
fair.
So
Because
uh,
I was about to say like even Stir Fry. Like, you know how long I listened to Stir Fry?
sorry. Migos. I don't know. Sometimes with like, who's your favorite off of those three? Actually,
Of who?
Migos.
Migos, Earth Gang, and who?
No. Who's
Oh,
your favorite like member of Migos?
of the Migos, Offset. Only,
Offset.
yeah. That was difficult. It's either Offset or
It's not Takeoff. It can't be Takeoff.
it's not Takeoff.
It has to be Quavo. The other option
It's
is Quavo.
Quavo.
True.
It's either, and it's literally because they have. I love their ad libs, bro. Offset, Quavo.
Um,
What does Takeoff
Quavo's
do?
my favorite. I don't even know. I never
Takeoff.
think about Takeoff. I never
Takeoff.
I never think about Takeoff, bro. Like he's kind of a waste. Like out of the three, he's kind of like.
What does he do? You said
He says
You said like what's your favorite
this
off
is
of them?
actually Takeoff. Also, you take off.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Like you said, what's your favorite out of the three? And I had to think, and I was this close to saying Future. Like,
I love Future. I love Future, and I would have been mad at you for that, bro. I fucking love Future. He's a great rapper.
dude, oh my god, I was looking at a Future quote today. It wasn't even a quote; it was a story. I'm gonna pull it up in a minute.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. He fucked somebody's wife.
Yeah,
Was
Scottie Pippen.
yeah,
Right,
Scottie
right.
Pippen's wife, and then that caused
Because
their divorce. Only because when he was a kid, Scottie Pippen didn't sign like a fucking poster for him, and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck your wife,"
dude,
and
that
then did it.
shit is too funny. Too
It's the
funny.
most toxic. He's the most toxic human being on planet Earth. Um, he's literally a misogynist, guys. Like I'm
Dude,
not joking.
the book of misogyny. Treat her like garbage.
And
No, but how about did you see the video of all the rappers like going to stores and buying like clothing
yeah,
and
all
shit?
the
And
like
like
really expensive clothing.
the cashier said the Future that'll be $30,000. The dude didn't even flinch, handed him his card and just paid for it.
Like all the young rappers were kind of looking at the price. They're like, oh, like they were groaning and shit. Future was like, bet, put out my card. You already know I have them racks, bro.
I aspire to be like Future.
Oh fuck, dude, everybody does.
What's up, Xavier? You missed when I was talking about Pray for Paris. But Xavier's the one who wanted me to talk about Pray for Paris. But holy shit. This Future is such a king. Even if he's literally the writer of the book of misogyny.
He's the top. He's the head pope of the church.
The Pope.
Pope. He's the pope of the church of misogyny.
Okay, so my while my baby cousin is screaming, what do you think is in store for the fall off?
Um, I have no idea. I actually have no idea. I don't know which direction J. Cole would go. I'm not
Yeah,
even sure when it's going to be released. Do you know?
yeah. The release date's to be announced. People are speculating it's either this year or next, but
Probably next,
I
or like the very end of this year. I was gonna guess.
that
Uh,
too. The whole Corona
like
shit is gonna delay that though, won't it?
probably
He's
he
gonna
could
record it
release
on
it.
his phone like Bobby Shmurda.
No, those were that's honestly I'm gonna say I have a hot take. I wish 6ix9ine wasn't such because I wish he was making more music. There were some fun songs. They're just I have good memories from like the songs we listened to. Like my friend Tyrese like loved a lot of his songs.
Yeah.
We played in the locker room and we just fucking wall out to that song. So yeah, I kind of wish he wasn't a snitch. Um, we were talking about Bobby Schmidt. The fucking that feature made me die laughing, but it was still fire. It was so fire.
Oh
Uh,
man. Yeah, I 6ix9ine went hard, and a lot of people don't want to admit that. My dad fucking loved 6ix9ine because he was like, first off, my dad likes anyone who's from Brooklyn. So like he likes Halsey because she's from Brooklyn. Like that's the only reason. And it's like why? But not saying that Halsey's bad. I'm just saying. But 6ix9ine went hard. He had a lot of good songs. Well, like
good for 6ix9ine songs.
huh?
It's like good for 6ix9ine songs. Like this is pure hype.
Right.
It,
Yeah.
it,
Right.
it he caps a lot, but like not every song has to be super deep, super lyrical, or even true. You
Yeah.
could just make it come.
That's true. And this is why old heads are ruining the music industry.
Old heads are ruining the
You
music industry.
kids,
So
you and
true.
your hype music, it's loud and it doesn't make sense. Nobody wants to listen to a college thesis while they're at a party.
Like Lil Tecca, oh my god, Lil Tecca is the epitome of cap. Like this nigga,
Yeah.
he's admitted on all of his songs. He has done nothing he said. He's like lives a really quiet life, and now he's rich. Now he's rich, of course. But like, he admitted like, yeah, I've never been to France. I don't know. I've never done this. I've never
Did the
done that.
genius interview?
Yeah, I died laughing. But like old heads would look at that and say, "Oh my god, this is like such a waste." But it still sounds good. He still put it together like really nicely. Give him credit for actually creating good sounding music too. That's his job. He's a musician.
Yeah. And my opinion is that the mainstream of back then is better than the mainstream of now, but the best of today is better than the best of then. And that is my opinion. Now,
That's fair.
and the production level today is fucking insane.
Probably has
Listen,
technology.
it's well, yeah, because technology, right? Listen to Travis. Listen to Kanye. Listen to sorry for dropping Kanye. Everyone knows, but like Travis, Kanye, anything. Kid Cudi song even. Who else is really great with production? Um, Brockhampton.
Hampton. Brockhampton's great.
Brockhampton has great production. Who else?
Josh
Got
Gambino.
Gambino. Gambino. Uh, even Comethazine, who just makes fucking retarded hype music, is just screaming into the mic with like.
I wish Comethazine joined like the little duo with X and Ski Mask. That all three of those niggas shouting on a fucking hard ass beat sounds
That's
really good.
that's like if the Black Air Force was like just a trio. That's
If we
them.
were to get the most black Air Force cheer, I would say that's more like the age of Chief Keef days, like those niggas. Like Chief Keef and people like, oh, well, those are black Air Force niggas, like condensed into music.
Oh, Tyler the Creator is another one. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Tyler the Creator has great production.
Great production.
He's an amazing producer.
Are you talking about black Air Force? I was like, no.
No, 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 no. I'm in production. Xavier mentions Frank Ocean's production, and while it is good, a lot of it is produced by Tyler or other people because Frank Ocean isn't a producer himself, but his production is pretty good. It's not. I wouldn't say it's up there with the people I mentioned, but it's still pretty good. Okay.
Ocean, cause of many depressed nights in my room alone. Frank Ocean,
I was
can't
I was
forget, can't
listening.
forget.
I was listening to Blonde in the shower. Like I've never done it before. I did it one time. Shut up, Zav. DJ Khaled is terrible. Um, I was listening to Blonde in the shower one time, and I started sobbing because Ivy started playing, and like, I never thought I would cry over a Frank Ocean song, but it happened.
Yeah, I like when I shower, I always bring my speaker in. Like I have a really good bathroom in my house and like where I go to school. Um, like I have a really good bathroom in my house,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a sauna, and that shit's amazing to just blast music into. And I've blasted a lot of Frank Ocean in there. Great.
Yeah, Zav just put in emojis, crying in the shower, just like that. Frank Ocean is a great artist. Okay, but it's a 30-minute mark. You know what that means?
I don't actually know how long this thing is like supposed to
It's just
be.
an hour, so we got 30 minutes left.
Okay,
But it's 30 minutes. That's the halfway mark. That means one thing.
one thing.
We switch to the politics portion, ladies and gentlemen. So if you were here for the music, we're done. Please stick around, though. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. But
The longer you stick around, the more I get paid.
yeah, the more yes.
Goes from 2 cents to four. Oh, holy shit!
Oh, whoa, whoa, Iwi, don't make me out like a greedy person. I'm paying you at least 5 cents. Come on now.
At least 5 cents. That's what I agree to. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna drop a quick overview on how we think the U.S. handled coronavirus, and then we're gonna talk about U.S. interventionism, just because. But how do you think the U.S. handled coronavirus?
You already know. Pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I know, but they don't know.
Trump is Trump is really fun to watch. I think
He's hilarious.
from up here, but like now that there's a crisis, like I don't know. No one expected there to be a crisis,
Right.
so you can't really like get super upset. I guess at what how hard he's fumbling, but he's really just showing his true colors right now, and that's what a lot of people have been saying for a lot of years. It's like
Yeah.
finally took a crisis to realize it.
I the man's gone senile, but like
Not as much as Joe Biden, but he's pretty
not
close.
as much as Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a
Just not
travesty.
know where he is
I
like presently at the moment. Joe Biden does not know where he is right now. I
yeah.
promise you.
Joe Biden is like, I lost the presidency,
Huh?
but like, oh my
Have you
god,
just listened to his ramblings? My favorite is like when he's telling stories about shit. Like he was talking about like kids like rubbing up his leg
that
and
shit
shit.
so disturbing. It was so disturbing.
There was like an interview where he forgot his life existed or something. It's funny to watch, but not going to be fun to see Hillary versus Trump part two, except with Joe Biden.
Dude,
That's going to be have fun
it
with that guy.
is gonna be like reality TV, bro. It's like Trump is sitting here roasting the shit out of Biden, and Biden doesn't even know what's happening. He's
Like he
like,
does not know what's
he's
going
like
on.
the
The
lights are
lights
too
are
bright.
blinding it. Yeah.
It's
Ooh,
it's
guys, you got
like,
yourself into a pickle.
dude, Joe Biden's gonna come out the thing like Uzi. He's gonna be like, I lost.
I lost.
I lost.
No, if you guys elect Trump twice, I will actually lose all hope. I
What's
lose all hope.
what else? You want Biden to? I don't want either to win, but what's
I
gonna
would
happen?
well, you guys should have gone with Bernie, but
I believe I agree. We should have gone with Bernie, but it didn't happen.
should have gone with Bernie.
But it didn't
Honestly,
happen.
Hillary's better than Biden or Trump because Biden would literally just do what Hillary would do, except worse, and also be like brain dead at the same time.
But Hillary wasn't
He
better than Bernie, who also
if
ran in the
he
same election.
I okay, fair enough, but I genuinely think if Biden, like, first of all, with Bernie, I was just gonna say, like, he's probably not ever gonna get elected because,
It's
like,
unfortunate, yeah.
people hear socialist and they're like, no matter what form it is, they just think Cold War and it's already over. Um,
But
what was I saying? It was like Biden or some shit. But go first. Go ahead first.
a lot of people shit on the U.S. all the time,
As they should.
fuck you. I'm proud of my country,
Are
but
you really?
I'm very proud. Listen, we
Okay.
mess up,
Well,
and we're in a
a lot.
we
A
are in a
lot.
time where we're so big that even the tiny mistakes are blown out of proportion.
No, dude. No, dude. No, dude.
That's
Pause.
that. I'm not saying that's
I
what's happening right now. I'm saying it's
sure.
what
Okay.
has happened.
Okay.
But what we get shit on for how we handled the coronavirus, which yes, I agree, we handled it poorly, but not as poorly as people say it is. A lot of the time, it was from miscommunication from China because
That
they
was
were really secretive. The
that was part of it.
WHO was really supportive of China as well. On top of that, now I see that how you're saying, oh yeah, the U.S. fucked up because Trump fucking fired the pandemic response team. It was so stupid. And
It
Julia,
was
yes, it would be
also
logistically impossible to be reabsorbed by Britain, where our GDP is like greater than theirs times three. But yeah,
yeah, they would have. I don't know how you would even do that, like legislation wise. But what was I gonna say? There's also the fact that Trump has been like denying certain like medical supplies. I think he just
yeah,
denied like oxygen, which is kind of needed for a respiratory illness. There's also like the general like vibe I'm getting. He doesn't actually understand what a virus is
yeah.
because like he's saying like the what at least 50 people have died of injecting shit into their body that they really shouldn't. They're
That's
like
natural
drinking
selection.
bleach.
Like, like I
No,
know
but
the president said
they
it.
drink bleach.
Like you literally drink. Like that's an insult that middle schoolers
Drink
say.
bleach, yeah.
Drink,
I remember
drink.
fucking telling people to drink bleach when I was 12. I
Like,
don't know why
and
people
now
agree
people
with
are
that.
actually doing it.
Yeah,
Also, Aiden,
that's wild.
no, it was not a bioweapon. The U.S. Health Department is going back and forth with it. Um, a lot of them say that it originated in a lab, but it wasn't meant as a bioweapon. It was simply just studying. And a lot of others just say, "Oh, it was from the wet markets." So they go back and forth with it. We don't know for sure yet. We will know after the fact. But unfortunately, the state of how America is right now, we're gonna have most likely 4 years of Trump and then Kanye, which is the best case scenario.
I
All
like how
right,
Kanye is. I know we're done music, but you brought up Kanye. I like how he's going back to like church Kanye rather than crazy Kanye. That's
great.
cool.
Listen, I think it's kind of a mixture of both crazy and church Kanye.
Because
But
there, okay, fair enough. Jesus King, there was a few parts where he like, he still showed I'm insane, and I leave parts of my songs where I just yell in my albums.
yeah, I really didn't like in Ye when he was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm bipolar. It ain't a disability. It's a
It's my
superpower."
superpower.
No, it
It's my
ain't.
superpower. Yeah.
No, it ain't.
I think it's just him being like, you know what, I'm tired of apologizing for it. I'm just saying I'm bipolar. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong
Another
with that, I
quick
guess.
note: if you haven't listened to Yandi, listen to it, please. Is there leaks? They're all leaks, but you can find them on YouTube, and they're so good. And I'm really salty that he dropped Jesus a King instead of Yandi. But back to the topic at hand. We're gonna do a quick turn. We're gonna talk about U.S. interventionalism. What do you feel about that? I know you don't really like it. So just go ahead and elaborate.
I think I'm more interested in what you think about it, honestly, because
Okay.
we talked a little bit about it last night,
Yeah.
but I'll just give my general view.
Okay.
It's usually not done very well, and that usually leads to a lot of destabilization.
Right.
And that stabilization tends to bite everybody in the ass later. Like, you could list Al Qaeda or like the destruction. Not like I don't even know how to describe it sometimes. Like they dismantled so many like countries that even smelled slightly socialist.
Right. Real quick, Julia's asking, what does it mean? U.S. interventionalism. Interventionalism is essentially a superpower going into another country to make it the way that they want it to be. Um, but I think it's kind of a necessity. It's weird to say, but I do think it's kind of a necessity, even if we fuck up a lot. A lot of the times when you see the effects of imperialism and interventionalism, it wasn't because of America, rather, it was like Britain and France who fucked up the Middle East. But we didn't do much to help it. However, there are times where we need to go in there and fix some shit because it's going bad. Like, for example, in Afghanistan, while it was an unjustified war, and I don't know why we're still there, the reason we went there is because there was an enemy to the United States who was being harbored in that country, and we needed to deal with him so he wouldn't pose any further problems. Now, of course, we had the problem of ISIS rising as a direct result of that. But if it's done right, interventionism can be a really powerful tool, and it could be used to fix the globe.
Sure, but there's like when you start talking about that type of stuff, you get into a lot of like normative arguments, and it would be like the argument would be even if the U.S. could do it 100% time, perfect 100% of the time, is it right for a foreign nation to impose their will on another nation? That's something like I'm like I didn't actually tell my age. I'm 18, like 2 years older than Isaiah, but like the friend group we belong to is kind of like pretty spread on age. I think most of us are 18 now. Do you think?
Yeah, it's 1817.
18, 17. Yeah, most of us. So I'm actually in university. I took like like intro political science because I've always been interested in politics.
I've been
Um,
1 second. I'm not saying that they came from Afghanistan. I'm saying they rose in a direct result, like in Syria, because
mhm.
because Afghanistan really set the precedent for Middle Eastern intervention. My bad. Sorry that I wasn't too clear on that.
Yeah. So when you get to like that type of like an actual class, you also kind of look at the morality behind policies,
Okay.
and that's something that you really have to look at whenever you talk about anything like anything normative, which would be what like should we continue interventionism? Is it good or bad? Um, you'd be asking, is it fair for them to do it, even if they could do it 100% of the time? Some people say yes, some people say no. I definitely say no. I don't think you should be able to, like, if you talk about freedom, you probably shouldn't be able to come in and just like body someone's nation and fucking do whatever you want.
I disagree to a certain extent. Real quick, I was laughing because fucking Aiden said Islamic State of Ireland and Scotland, but um, but I believe that for a peaceful world, there needs to be a world police. And there's always been a sort of world police. In times of when the UK was the world superpower, the UK was the police. In times where China was, they weren't really the police, but everything centered around China, specifically like the Ming Dynasty. But nowadays we have America on top. We are the sole superpower. We need to monitor the world. Now, there are times where we're doing shit and we're like, that's kind of fucked up. Why do we like with Agent Orange in Vietnam? We didn't have to do that. Uh, but I believe that in order to keep a peaceful establishment in place, there should be someone who's monitoring it all, making sure it's there. That's why we have giant organizations like NATO or what's the other one? The United Nations.
Okay, but like how you can't. I don't think there should really be world police. I think it should be a council because you could easily just have abuse in because you're the most powerful nation. Who's going to stand up to you? And that's something that you have to be really really careful about. I think what's the it's a movie with Nicolas Cage in it. Is it? It's either Words of War or like something like that. Basically, it's about an arms dealer that like sells weapons to like rebel forces and like guerrilla forces and stuff
Yeah.
that people end up fighting, and they get filthy rich off it. And all of that's like the movie is based on true events. Like it has been found that the U.S. have been selling weapons to people that they fought before. So you can't. There's going to be corruption. Like the industrial military complex
Hmm.
is usually one of the most corrupt forms of governments that's like in the free world.
How so?
Because like you are profiting off war,
Right.
so
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
you you can't have peace unless if you want peace you can't be rich, and every country wants to be rich.
Yeah, that's true. That's the main problem with privatization of a lot of industries, especially the prison system. Uh,
It's
but
really cool. That's what they do there. Yeah.
we have given weapons to the Taliban. But a lot of the times, a lot of times when we go and intervene in other countries, the intent isn't to profit off, or rather, how do I explain this? This is difficult. All right. For example, in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people say, "Oh, the U.S. only intervenes in the Middle East because they want their oil." That's
Mhm.
not true. We are pretty self-sustaining on oil, and most of the oil we buy is from Canada and Mexico. So most times when we intervene in the Middle East, it's not for personal gain. Rather, it's to set things right, because the British and the French fucked it up, and there are a lot of paramilitary organizations, terrorist organizations, ISIS and Al Qaeda, for example, came directly from the Middle East. So we have to step in because they're threatening our national security now. So we have to say, listen, you need to stop doing this, or we're gonna come in and we're gonna do it ourselves. We're gonna stop you ourselves because you are threatening our people. Like with 9/11, that's why we went into Afghanistan.
Yep. But then, even if you want to look at those as good situations, which I don't even count them as good. Sometimes I see them as like neutral,
Okay,
at best.
that's
But
fair.
you can count too many. That's like the Middle East is one thing, but what about all the times where it's been in South America, where it's specifically to pull under their resources
Okay, that
and
I was under Ronald
pillage?
Reagan. That was under
Oh,
Ronald Reagan. Ronald
Ronald
Reagan.
Reagan. Ronald Reagan did not like anyone's skin color who was slightly darker than white, bro.
Ronald Reagan is an evil
Even white
man.
people. Hold
Is
on,
an
I'm
evil
getting the
man.
call. I gotta pick this up.
Okay, just go ahead. I'm gonna keep it going. All right. Ronald Reagan is an evil man, and I have explained to several people several times why I hate him so much. First off, the whole idea of Reaganomics was essentially, oh yeah, people should be able to be successful despite their economic class, which makes sense on paper until you realize the horrible things that come as a direct result of, no, don't reestablish the banana republics. Are you insane? Do you understand the amount of corruption that went on in the banana republics? Are you crazy? It was like, it was literally countries owned by companies. That's horrible. That's the definition of corruption. Like, companies already run rampant in the U.S. Like Amazon, for example. I don't know if you know the horrible things Amazon does to their employees, but they don't even own the country. They're just of the country. Imagine if they owned part of the country. The amount of corruption that would run. Back to what I was saying. Ronald Reagan, as a direct result of Reaganomics, you had the privatization of prisons, which in turn, which also worked, which worked hand in hand with the war on drugs, which means that they would incarcerate mainly blacks and Hispanics, all on the basis that these people have drugs on them, so they're committing a crime, so they belong in jail. When in reality, the reason, if you make drugs illegal, they become more potent and more bad for a person. It's just a fact. It happened with alcohol. When the prohibition of alcohol happened in the 20s, you had shit like moonshine, and you would like die from drinking moonshine. And the same thing is happening with drugs nowadays. You have cocaine, which turned into crack. Listen, I'm not an expert, but I don't think crack is good for you. Now, if it wasn't illegal, maybe it would be less potent, like marijuana, for example, and you could subsidize marijuana and use it to I don't know, fund the education system or something. It was more that they were arresting poor people. That's another thing. They were also arresting. Wait a minute, Abhinav, are you trying to say something racist right now? Are you saying that minorities are poor? I'm just kidding. Yes, this happened. And as a result, these people were incarcerated, worked for the prison system, and prisons profited off of free labor, which means they want more people to be incarcerated, which means you would have people who are wrongfully incarcerated at times just so the prisons can make more profit. Do you see where I'm going with this? Privatizations of prisons are bad. That's why the government should take control of them. That way that you won't have wrongfully incarcerated people on the basis that you want to make as most money as possible. Right. As a another Reagan was incredibly racist, and on top of that, there was specific evidence that the government peddled crack cocaine from South America and Mexico up into the U.S. Now, what they did with this crack. Now, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the government was using this crack to sell to the public to fund the paramilitary organizations that were running rampant in South America. That's all I'm saying. There's undeniable evidence that the CIA did peddle crack cocaine through the United States. But what they did with it, we don't know for sure. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist. But he no doubt did that on purpose to put minorities at a disadvantage at which minorities today still feel as a direct result. Do you know how many households grow up without a father because their father was incarcerated, or sometimes they just leave, let's be honest. But other times they were incarcerated maybe because they were involved in drug use, maybe because they did crimes. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's undeniable fact. Thank you, Abhinav. Abhinav, I'm going to have you as a guest one day. You know what you're talking about, my friend. Maybe we'll have a special podcast episode where we talk about nothing but politics. They wanted funding to stage a coup in Nicaragua. Yeah. Yes. What was the name of the organization? The Contras. And that's what the game Contra is about. You're the mercenaries running through Nicaragua, shooting it. Now, Contra isn't real. Contra, you fight robots. But that's what Contra's about. The Contras were a paramilitary organization that we funded in South America, and South America is a result of U.S. interventionism gone horribly wrong. It's quite unfortunate because as a supporter of the whole world police thing, when people bring up South America, like how my friend Iwi did, it really stinks because it's like, yeah, we installed several fascist dictators just so we could stop the spread of communism, which worked for the most part, but at what cost? You have places like DR, which suffered horrible genocides of Haitian populations, which I am ashamed of because I'm Dominican and my people, like a couple decades ago, decided, yeah, let's just get rid of all these Haitians because we're racist. You have places like Panama, which was economically prosperous at one point and is now a shithole. You have places like Honduras, Nicaragua. You have places like what's the other one? El Salvador. All of them have gone to straight shit as a result. Welcome back. Oh, he's got to put his headphones on, doesn't he? Welcome back, Ewa. How you doing?
Good. Like, I got a call from my mom. It's very nice. She calls me like at least like twice a week because I can't really see her. She works in medicine, so we have to be separated while she's working on Corona.
Right.
And she's reminding me how much I really want to see a barber. Holy shit! I'm tired of it. I want to braid my hair. I have so much hair. I want it braided. I am so tired of having just like a fro.
Yeah. My parents keep screaming at me, get a haircut, and I'm like, where am I getting? Where am I getting one? Hold on. It's ridiculous. So I went on a rant about Ronald Reagan and the absolutely terrible things he did with peddling crack cocaine through the United States. But
literally did that. Like he did that.
He did. Crazy. But yeah, that is an example of U.S. interventionism gone horribly wrong. But listen, the goal was to stop the spread of communism. They achieved the goal. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Wow. And it doesn't matter how many lives were ruined, how many countries are still crippled,
Yeah.
like because of that. Oh my god. They destroyed and they like and like it's so hilarious like what they how they still make fun of these countries. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
remember Venezuela they put a trade embargo on new cars. And then, like in 2016, they're laughing at them because they're like, "Oh, look at the socialists! They have all these old cars." I'm like, "You don't let them buy anything. You don't let them buy new
yeah.
shit." It's also like Venezuela is also like what I like. I live in Alberta, and when you're talking about like U.S. getting our oil, like that's where you get the oil from,
Yeah.
really.
Yes.
And I really wish we diversified our economy when we had money because like oil countries, oil like provinces, they're not going to be doing well like in the future when we figure out better sustainable energy. That's part of the reason why Venezuela actually is like really poor. It's because they're like they are the richest oil, like they're the
Yeah.
richest in oil,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't do anything else. And now, like since oil is cheaper than a bucket of chicken, uh, it's not a good idea to be spec'ing oil that hard.
Oh my God, I haven't even checked how Venezuela is doing right now, but I would imagine that
Probably not good. Probably
they
not.
are going through it. Oh my God.
I mean, like those types of countries at that point, like coronavirus, like,
Yes, Julia.
they don't have the like medical stock to really do anything about it. So they're like telling people stay in your homes at gunpoint. Basically, like there's
Yeah.
roaming street like police, and they will shoot you in the
Get the
street.
fuck in your house right now. Get
Like,
in
why
there.
are you not in your fucking house right now? It's crazy.
But yeah, uh, U.S. interventionism. I'm a fan. You're not a fan. I think that's a decent note to leave the podcast off on. Uh, I appreciate for everyone who stuck around watching. Thank you very much, and make sure to check
Why
us
the
out.
fuck am I paying? There's something with my bill. Like my roommate is billing me for like the utilities. I'm like, why the fuck am I paying for utilities at a house that I haven't stayed in weeks? Like, what are you talking about?
Make sure to
Like,
check out the podcast on Spotify, on Alci Rambles, of course. And if you're on Spotify, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Alci Rambles. And thank you very much, Iwi, for joining me today on this podcast. It was a pleasure having you here. Great conversation. And
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I will see you guys in 2 weeks.